So, when I was younger, when I was probably like 7 or 8, I lived at home with my family, my 2 older brothers, and my parents wanted to get us a pet. So, they actually got us a pet rabbit. Now, bizarrely, 2 weeks after having the pet rabbit, it died. It just died. We have no idea why. We think it was like, I don't know, had some sort of like stomach sickness or something. Very sad time. So my parents were like, okay, let's get the boys another pet. So they went to the local farm, pretty late in the year, and they were like, hey, do you have any rabbits that we could have? And they were like, no, we don't. But what we do have is this duck and this chicken. Ooh, buried treasure map. We finished the story. So, yeah, they go and they're like, you know what? We don't have any rabbits, but we have a pet duck and a duck and a chicken that are like the runts of the litter. So they're the little ones, and when a duckling or a chicken has a lot of a duck has a lot of ducklings or chickens or whatever, the little one kind of like is seen as like, oh, he's not really gonna be that awesome. Natural selection and all that, so he gets the short end of the stick, so to speak. So that's kind of what's going down, is like they've offered this, and my parents are like, you know what, sure. Which is a little bizarre. Didn't really have any idea how to look after a pet duck or a pet chicken, but they were like, you know what, YOLO. They probably didn't say YOLO. YOLO wasn't a thing back then. Ooh, Nautilus shell. So, back to the story. Back to the story indeed. We've got a pet duck and a pet chicken. And they're legends. The duck is called Chocolate. Because, he was the colour of chocolate. Little brown. It was actually an Indian runner duck. Interesting enough, I'm Indian. Had an Indian runner duck. He was a legend. He was just a legend. He had his little paddling pool. He would go around, and the chicken was called Speedy. The chicken was actually a rooster, which was almost a concern, because it was like, is this rooster going to be the most disruptive thing in the universe? But no, he was chill. So they lived in our back garden. We built them a nice little, like, I guess it's not really a hutch. We built them like an enclosure out of wood and like mesh. So they had like a really cool enclosure with like a ramp in it, a way they could go like up and down to the different areas. They had like a little room filled with hay that they could go and sleep in. It was super cool. Like DIY was on point. On point indeed. So yeah, we've got the pet duck and the pet chicken. We built them an awesome, nice little enclosure. And, they're just very, very chill individuals. They don't cause any bother. They're very messy, though. I would say that, like, yeah, ducks and chickens, very messy. You can't really train them to do their business, as it were, in one particular area. They tend to just kind of go where they please and leave a mess kind of everywhere. It's what they do. But, yeah, they were just chilling, living their life. It was very unique. The duck was so cute as well, because he was kind of, like, imprinted. So, ducks, like, pretty much the first thing they see, they follow around. Or, like, when they're really young. He was a duckling when we got him. That's a guardian there. He was a duckling when we got him, so he would, like, follow us around. And, like, he would get really mad if we, like, went away. He'd, like, start quacking and everything. Like, when he was little, we used to, like, put him in the bath so we could, like, give him attention. Ducks are pretty awesome. So, we had, like, this cute duck, cute chicken, living their life. Everything's good. Very, very unique pets. I actually took them into school for show and tell once. Felt like a ball. I was like, this my duck, this my chicken. And they were like, really, like, you could get like really, like, they would happily just kind of sit with you and like they would chill with people. Legendary stuff. Legendary pets. However, the story takes a twist. The tale takes a twist, I'm afraid. So, we've had them for maybe like 9-10 months. And we lived on the edge of the Peak District, and that meant that there were a lot of foxes around. They came from the countryside. The farmers hated them because they would literally YOLO attack the farms. YOLO attack the farms, sure. Oh wow, someone's actually turned this into like a base here. So yeah, the farmers hated them, but they were just doing their thing. I'm going to put a door down here and get some more. And we always had to put the duck and chicken, Speedy and Chocolate, they would like roam around the garden during the day. And then at night, the foxes would come out hunting. We'd have to put them inside their little pen, which was all safe and the foxes couldn't get into. Sometimes like the foxes would like crawl around the pen and try and scare them. Was never a fan of that. Not gonna lie, I may or may not have shot a fox or two with a BB gun just to get them to stop scaring my poor duck and my poor chicken. So they would come by and they would cause a scene, but we had it under control. We'd always put them in before it got dark, and everything was good. But then one day we were driving back from the from a little session at the gym. They had like a really cool like kids like crash where we could like go and like join in on like different activities and stuff. And we were on the way back, and we got stuck in like traffic. There were like some road closures. There was a lot of traffic down the main road we needed to get down, and it just got to winter. And in winter, obviously, it starts getting dark really early. So it was getting dark early, and yeah, you can probably imagine this not being an ideal thing. So we got we've got them living in the garden. We have to put them in, and we're late back from the gym. So this is obviously not ideal at all. We're like, oh no. And it's one of those things where we're like, oh, we're a bit late, we're a bit slow leaving. We're like, it'll be fine, you know, just one of those things where you're like, alright, it's going to be so fine. Like, how could it not be fine? And, let's just say, got back to the garden. There's feathers everywhere. No sign of Speedy or Chocolate. Very, very sad times. Not going to lie, 8-year-old Vic was crying. I was crying. I was very, very upset. I've lost both my best buds, the duck and the chicken. You know, they were so cute. They used to paddle around together. We had a little paddling pool set up for the duck, and he would just like go around the paddling pool. And then the chicken would just sit on the side. He was not a fan of the water, so he would just sit on the side and watch. They were the most iconic duo. Like, trust me, they were an iconic duo. And, yeah, they're gone. So, very, very sad times. And that's kind of, like, that's it. Like, it was devastating. Didn't even want any pets after that. Like, didn't even want to get another pet. Just sad. Sad times indeed. So, then, about 2 months later, I go on a school trip to the local farm. And I get there, and, I see, I'm looking in the, well, I see there's the duck pen next to the chicken pen, and in there is a duck that looks just like Chocolate. And I'm like, weird. I'm like, hey, Chocolate. Duck comes running over. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, I go up to one of the people working there. I'm like, I don't know if you, like, where you got this duck or whatever, but I think that's my duck. And at first they're like, what are you on about? I was like, look, I'll call his name. And he turns around and runs over to me. I'm like, look, it's my duck. And they're like, huh. And I'm like, what's the story behind this duck? How's he here? And they tell me that on the road where our house is, 5 houses down the road, so there's this stream that runs through the back garden of all of the houses on our road. And a few houses down the road, there's a couple who have a pond in their garden. And they phoned up the farm, and they were like, one of your ducks has escaped. It's in our pond, in our back garden, the next morning. And they were like, look, it's not our duck, but we'll come and pick it up, and we'll put it with all our ducks. Sure, whatever. And they do this, and they're like, you know what? This duck has always been weird, because this duck genuinely thinks it's a chicken. It behaves like them, and it goes and stands on the side of the duck pen with the chickens, and just, like, it thinks it's a chicken, which is almost hilarious, because it grew up with a chicken. Like, chicken was its bro. Speedy was the bro. So what must have happened is, yeah, when it all kicked off, when it all got very dangerous, Chocolate must have hopped in to the stream and just, like, jetted away on the high seas, which is pretty crazy. Like, high IQ, like 500 IQ duck, if you ask me, just boated away, got away from the fox, and ended up at the farm. They're like, oh, do you want your duck back then? And we were like, you know what? No, we don't really want to take him back to the place where he almost got obliterated by a fox and his best friend got eaten. So we were like, you know what? He can live out his days here at the farm. And as far as I'm aware, I assume he did. I mean, this was like a long time ago. How many years ago must that have been? Like 15, yeah, like 14, 15 years ago, this all went down. So, I mean, I guess, you know, a kind of a happy story. The duck was not Rip. He survived. He used his high IQ plays. Speedy, I mean, at that moment, rest in peace. We will miss you forever. You were a great chicken. But yeah, that is the infamous story of my pet duck and pet chicken. It was a very unique part of my childhood. And, I mean, I was about to say, and they all lived happily ever after, but